Two boats, two skippers, two completely different theme park legends. One ride drops you into a jungle filled with bad jokes and wild animals, and the other turns a quiet harbor into a shark-infested nightmare. Today on Ride Rivalries, we're putting up Magic Kingdom's Jungle Cruise versus the extinct Jaws the Ride from Universal Orlando. We'll compare them across 4 categories: theming and story, innovation, thrills, and legacy. Each category gets a score from 1 to 5 points, and the ride that has the most points wins. I'm JP with Rants, Rides, and Reviews, and let's dive in. When Universal Studios Florida opened in 1990, Jaws was one of the park's headline attractions. Based on Steven Spielberg's 1975 blockbuster film, the ride put guests aboard a sightseeing boat tour through Amity Island until things went horribly wrong. The original version of this ride was incredibly ambitious for its time, featuring massive shark animatronics, explosions, fire effects, and complex ride systems. There was just one problem: it barely worked. The original attraction suffered from huge technological issues during previews, forcing Universal to completely redesign and rebuild large parts of the ride before reopening it in 1993. But once the updated version debuted, with a new finale mind you, it became one of Universal's most iconic attractions ever. Guests loved the atmosphere, the tension, and especially the unforgettable finale. Sadly, Jaws closed in 2012 to make way for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Diagon Alley. But even today, fans still consider it one of the greatest theme park rides Universal ever created. Meanwhile, the history of Jungle Cruise goes a little further back. Opening with Disneyland in 1955, Jungle Cruise was actually one of Walt Disney's original attractions. Originally, the ride was meant to be a serious adventure through exotic rivers around the world. Early versions focused heavily on realistic scenery and live narration. Some people may not know this, but the skippers originally also had firearms in Jungle Cruise to scare off hippos or approaching crocodiles. Why'd you remove the guns, Disney? I mean, I'm sure there's some reason, like maybe same reason you removed other problematic things at the parks, but I think it would add another level of tension. Maybe we're showing all these dangerous animals on Jungle Cruise. Maybe like having the pistol shows kids, hey, maybe you shouldn't just walk up to a wild lion or tiger if you see one in the woods. Like, there's some danger there. Be careful. That's why I have this weapon. I don't know. But it would just take it another level higher for me if they left the guns in there. But for whatever reason, all right, they took the guns out. The skippers started adding jokes, and eventually the jokes became the attraction. When Magic Kingdom opened in 1971, Jungle Cruise became one of the park's opening day rides and quickly became a Disney classic. Unlike Jaws, which relies on fear and suspense, Jungle Cruise thrives on charm, awkward humor, and the personality of its skippers. No two rides are exactly alike because the cast members themselves are a huge part of the experience, and after more than 50 years, Jungle Cruise is still running strong today. Now let's get into the categories. The first category is story and theming. Jaws absolutely nails the atmosphere. From the moment you step on Amity Island, you feel like it's a real world. It's believable. From the weathered docks and the fishing equipment and the lighthouse and the signs and the theming, they do a great job of making you feel like you're really in small town New England. You slowly move through the water and your skipper starts noticing things are wrong. Bit by bit, the tension builds until complete chaos erupts. And the worst part, you're trapped on the water. There's nowhere to go. The pacing is fantastic. The attraction does a great job of making guests feel vulnerable. Score for Jaws, 5 out of 5. Jungle Cruise story is simpler, but its strengths rely on its immersion and its personality. The environments are gorgeous. You travel through different rivers inspired by Asia, Africa, and South America, and the amount of detail packed into the ride is incredible. But the real stars are the skippers. A great skipper can completely transform your ride experience with timing, delivery, and audience interaction. But the downside is consistency. See, some skippers are hilarious and really good at their jobs, and others are not. Okay, some of them are pretty unfunny. That means the experience can vary a lot depending on who you get. So I have to give Jungle Cruise a score of 4 out of 5. All right, let's move on over to the next category, which is innovation. And with Jaws, the ambition is just insane. The ride uses massive shark animatronics that are underwater, and they use it to interact perfectly with the environment, the explosions, the audio cues, and it was just incredibly advanced for its time. It was only the 1990s and they were pulling this stuff off. Even though the first version of this ride technically failed, the second version was a huge achievement for ride engineering. Jaws score 5 out of 5. Now, Jungle Cruise deserves huge respect historically. In 1995, making realistic moving animatronics was hard to do and hard to come by. But compared to Jaws, the ride system is just much simpler and less ambitious technologically. So I have to give Jungle Cruise a 4 out of 5. All right, let's look at the third category, which is thrills. And for this round, it's not even close, okay? Jaws is just so intense. You've got a man-eating shark chasing you, jump scares, explosions, grenade launchers. The only thing that would make this ride more intense is if it was on a roller coaster, but that wouldn't really make sense theming wise. So this ride is just incredibly terrifying. And it cemented my fear of sharks. Riding this ride as a child scarred me for life. And to this day, like, if you were to say, hey, what's your biggest fear? What are you afraid of? I would probably say sharks because of this ride and the movie, obviously. So Jaws takes the cake, 5 out of 5, no question, for thrills. Now, Jungle Cruise just isn't designed to be thrilling. It's relaxing, funny, and adventurous, but that's not thrilling. Okay, the backside of water can only do so much. So I'm gonna have to give Jungle Cruise a 2 out of 5 for thrills. Let's go into the final round, which is legacy. Even though Jaws is gone, its fan base is incredibly massive. People still wear Jaws merchandise, quote the skipper spiel, and talk about the ride constantly online. For many Universal fans, it represented the golden era of the park. I give Jaws a 4 out of 5 for legacy. But Jungle Cruise is on another level historically. The ride has survived for over half a century and still attracts huge lines daily. It inspired attractions worldwide, became part of Disney culture, and even got its own movie adaptation. There are few rides in theme park history more iconic than Jungle Cruise. I gotta give Jungle Cruise a 5 out of 5 for legacy. And the winner of the ride rivalry is Jaws. Its innovation, atmosphere, and thrills were just too strong for Jungle Cruise to beat. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ridden these rides before? Are you Team Jaws or Team Jungle Cruise? Thanks for watching the video. My name is JP, and this is Rants, Rides, and Reviews, and I'll see you in the next one.